The Sangrand means when the sun, the Suraj, goes from one month to another. Now we don't celebrate Sangrand as a special day necessary for us. It's a day of doing Sadh Sangat in the sanctuary of Guru Sahib Ji. This month, the change of month was on Tuesday, the 14th, I think, of January. We finished the month of Po, which goes from the middle of December to the middle of January, and we've come into the month of Magh. Now, just as in this country, we join with the Sadh Sangat every Sunday. Sunday is seen as a rest day for the Christian faith. But we have made a habit of joining the Sadh Sangat, coming to the sanctuary of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji every Sunday, because it's a day we have off work as well. Similarly, in India, culturally, the day of Sangrand, the change of the month, was when holy people would get together. Our gurus, giving us the teachings to taking us out of ritualistic practices, decided to celebrate Sangrand, but celebrate it in the way that Gursikhs do, singing Kirtan, listening to katha, joining, focusing on Naam, and doing Sadh Sangat of holy Sikhs in the sanctuary of our Guru. So this month is the month of Magh, and Guru Sahib Ji, Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji first, gave a teaching for us Sikhs every month of what teaching is to go with us for this month. In the time of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji, Baba Buddha Sahib Ji and other Sikhs did benti that they couldn't necessarily understand the deeper meanings of Bara Maha in the Rag of Tukhari, which was given to us by Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji at Sri Harmandir Sahib, or just outside of Sri Harmandir Sahib Gurudwara, but in the complex as we know today, they gave us the Bani of Bara Maha in the Rag of Maj. And this is the Bani that Gursikhs read every month when it is Sangrand, or when the change of the month happens. We read the Shabad for that month, taking that teaching. But also in this month, we celebrate the Shahidi of the Chali Mukte at the Battle of Muktsar Sahib. And although that battle took place in April, in the months where summer begins, historically, that battle of Muktsar Sahib, where the Chali Singhs were mukt, where they were giving that var of Chali Mukte, that battle took place towards the end of April in 1705. We celebrate it at the beginning of this month, and that's why we hear in India or in Punjab, Muktsar da Mela or Maghi da Mela, because in Punjabi we call those events when all the Sikh Sangat come together as Jod Mele. And the Jod Mela of Maghi is celebrated in Muktsar Sahib, commemorating the Shahidi of the Chali Mukte. Why do we celebrate it in Maghi if the event itself took place in the month of April? Around 100 or so years ago, Gursikhs did a Gurmata that they would move the celebration from April to the beginning of this month, the month of Maghi. Muktsar Sahib is in the south of Punjab. It is near the borders of Rajasthan. And Rajasthan is known to us as a place where there's a lot of desert, so it gets very hot. And in those parts of Punjab, there is little water, and the water is not necessarily pure, even if you get hold of water. Sometimes, as we describe in Punjabi, it's khada. It's not sweet. And so, because it's cooler in Maghi, because we're still in the winter months, and because so we don't need as much water, Gursikhs did a Gurmata and moved the celebration and the commemoration of that Jang to the beginning of Maghi, the beginning of the Sangrand of Maghi. And we've been celebrating that this week. You may have celebrated in your Gurukar, you may have seen the Sakhiyan on the TV, on the Sikh channels, you may have seen that on different internet posts. So we today are going to remember those Shaheeds also. But in remembering those Shaheeds, connected to their battle, we've got to go all the way back to Sri Anandpur Sahib. When Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, our father, along with all the Sikh Sangat, are surrounded by the Mughal forces, the Pahadi Raje, known as the Hill Raje. And they're surrounded. And a few years previous to 1704, when Guru Sahib Ji leaves Anandpur Sahib, we've just celebrated the Shahidi of the Sahibzade in the previous month. We've celebrated the leaving of Anandpur Sahib, the Battle of Chamkaur Sahib, when the Vadde Sahibzade were Shaheed, when the Chote Sahibzade were bricked alive in Sarhand. We've just commemorated those Shahidiyan. But a few years previous to that, the Mughal forces and the Pahadi Raje would attack, and they would want to finish off the Sikhs. They want to arrest Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. The Pahadi Raje come up with a plan of giving sharab, giving alcohol to an elephant, dressing the elephant with army attire so they can charge down the fort known as Lohgarh Killa. Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji blesses his Sikhs. He puts his hand towards Bhai Duni Chand. Bhai Duni Chand was the grandson of Bhai Sahlo. Now Bhai Sahlo was a Gursikh in the times of Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji. Bhai Sahlo Ji did the seva of Sri Harmandir Sahib Ji. He helped in that seva, and he was from the city of Lahore, which is now in Pakistan. His grandson, Bhai Duni Chand, from Lahore, had his battalion. So in those days with Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, although the Sikhs were all under the command of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, each Sikh or different areas had their, for want of a better word, had their different jathe of Sikhs, different battalions which would fight in different battles at different times. And all those coming together would be the Khalsa Panth. So he had 200, 300, 400, 500 Sikhs with him from his area of Lahore and surrounding villages and cities. That area in the north of Punjab is known as Majha. We know, our elders will know, that Punjab, even in those days, was split in 3 areas. The south of Punjab, which is south of the river Satluj, as Malwa. The middle of Punjab, as we know it now, even between Satluj and the river Beas, as Doaba, and north of river Beas, one of the 5 rivers. These are the 5 rivers, 2 of those. The north of that Beas, where we get Gurdaspur and Amritsar now, that's known as Majha, but also parts of Pakistan, because that was the north of Punjab, was known as Majha. And so his Sikhs, or his battalion, were from that area. Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji put his hand towards Bhai Duni Chand and said, "You are going to be blessed. You are one of my greatest warriors. You are going to go out tomorrow and fight this elephant who has been given sharab, alcohol, to fight against us, to charge down this fort." Bhai Duni Chand got scared that night. His allies, part of his battalion, probably said to him, "You by yourself going to fight that elephant? You'll be killed. Why not we leave here?" Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji has gone pagal. They're the kind of words our Sikh brothers and sisters used at those times. And sometimes we say that of our Guru now. We may not say it physically, but we say it in our mind when we're not following their hukam. When we're going against their teachings, in some ways we are thinking they're wrong. Because if they were right, we wouldn't have no hesitation but to follow the teachings. We must obviously question the teachings, therefore we don't maybe follow them completely. Bhai Duni Chand that night, the night before he was about to go out and battle this elephant on his own, took 200 of his soldiers, climbed the wall of the fort and tried to escape and go back to their villages and cities. On climbing down the rope, Bhai Duni Chand fell and broke his leg. He broke his leg but managed to get back to Lahore with his soldiers. Upon reaching his house, because he didn't follow the teachings, he was going to be blessed with the blessings that any Gursikh wants, to be chosen by their Guru, to be specifically chosen to do any kind of act, so they can be blessed not just in this world, but in the afterworld, to be blessed eternally. He was bitten by a snake, as history tells us, and he died in his village. Tak kya hoya, that's the words used, tak kya hoya, from the Guru. because he turned his back, he gave a bidawa. He said he is no Sikh of the Guru because he didn't follow the teachings. But then the blessing went towards Bhai Bachittar Singh, and he on his own with his Nagani. Nagani is like a long spear, but it was shaped as a serpent. That's why it was called a Nagani. Fought the elephant himself, defeated the elephant, and was blessed by Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. That Nagani is still present at Takht Sri Kesgarh Sahib in Sri Anandpur Sahib if anybody wants to do darshan of it. That exact Nagani that Bhai Bachittar Singh used. As the years passed, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji had other battles with the Pahari Raje, with the Mughal forces. We reached the time of 1704, the winter months of 1704, where the Sikhs are telling Guru Sahib Ji to leave Sri Anandpur Sahib. They're not asking, they're telling. We've had many battles with these Mughals, with these Pahari Raje. We've been hungry for many months. Why are you continuing this? Again, the Sikhs questioned the Guru. Guru Sahib Ji said, if you stay for 3 more months, then it went down to 3 weeks, 3 days even, you will receive everything. Everything which you desire, you, the Khalsa Panth, will receive. But the Guru, Sikhs did not follow the teachings. They did bentiya. They told Guru Sahib Ji, and some historians say there was a badawa written at that point. Badawa means writing a letter to say, I am not a Sikh of yours, you are not a Guru of mine. Some historians say there was a letter written like that at Anandpur Sahib. Sikhs left at those times as well. Now in this area of Majha, since Bhai Duni Chand and his soldiers have left few years previous, the Panchayatan, the families, some of that area were thinking Guru Sahib Ji has had many battles. The Mughals approached those Sikhs and said, you know, you need to tell Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji to leave Sri Anandpur Sahib. You need to get them to leave. We won't do anything to them. Get them to leave and we'll let you Sikhs live in peace. And the Panchayata, the Sikhs, thought, they had meetings with each other, let's go to meet Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. Let's tell them to give up this stand against the Mughals. What are they doing? Well, we know what they did. Sri Guru Har Gobind Sahib Ji created Takht Sri Akal Takht Sahib. They sat on a platform higher than the Mughal king. They wore a kalgi, something which was banned in India. They sang kirtan using different musical instruments, something which Islam is against. So the Mughal forces were saying, you can't even sing kirtan because you're going against our faith. You can't have horses, you can't have weapons. In other words, Sikhs would not be able to carry their karpanna. These are the sorts of oppression that in some ways we're facing even today. As Bhai Sahib Ji said, even the governments we live under, we're thinking we're at peace here. Even they plan and meet to attack Sikhs, to finish off the Sikhs, as we've heard with these letters that have come out this past week. Where as Sikhs are not necessarily safe anywhere. Why are we not safe? Because we have a threat to be able to live our lives following the teachings of our Guru. Technically we're not safe because we can't live under our Guru's teachings. So that area had been for years coming together thinking we need to speak to Guru Sahib Ji to stop these battles with the Mughals. Stop these battles. Let's get them to meet Aurangzeb. Let's get them to stop this and we can all live in peace. But they knew from history, because when Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji was Shaheed, the Hindus that were being oppressed, they weren't fighting against the Mughals. The Mughals had a law passed that every day there's going to be thousands of Jinus piled up, forcibly converting those Hindus to Muslims. So they were living in peace, they weren't fighting with the Mughals. They were being oppressed. Why did our brothers and sisters in those times think that having a talmel with the Mughals would give us peace? But we as Sikhs, even in this day and age, sometimes question the teachings. Ye jade kattar ho gaya. What's the point of a karpan? Kada paun di ki loda. Why are they keeping their case? Dastara kado sajaunde a? Our own brothers and sisters question. But the Bibiyan of that area, they were given a var by Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji. Previously, Maya Rab Rajaiyan, when Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji was refused from going into Sri Harmandir Sahib, Guru Sahib Ji gave a srap to the Sangat of that area, but the Bibiyan came and did Mafi, and Maharaj said Bibiyan ne Sikhi bachati in the area of Majha in Amritsar. The Bibiyan then gave shame to their husbands, their brothers that came back from Anandpur Sahib. They said, you wear our clothes, chuniya tusi pao, banga tusi pao. We will go and fight. If you can't fight for the Guru, we will go and fight. We will go stand for the teachings of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. So over those years, the area of Majha were in Dubada, in question. Do they follow the teachings of Guru Sahib Ji, or do they go away from the teachings of Guru Sahib Ji? Questions we face day in and day out living in this society. They got himmat and they came to meet Guru Sahib Ji. Over those years, Guru Sahib Ji has given up their children. They've given up their father, Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji. They've given up their elder Sahibzade in the Battle of Chamkaur. 3 of the Panch Pyare are Shaheed in the Battle of Chamkaur. The 2 Sote Sahibzade, along with their mother Mata Gujri Ji, are Shaheed in Fatehgarh Sahib Sarhand. Sahibzade being bricked alive, as we've heard in the previous month. Guru Sahib Ji says stay. The Sikhs say we have to leave. Guru Sahib Ji leaves Anandpur Sahib. They are attacked, and we know the Sakhiyan that came because we've heard them and we remember them this past month. Guru Sahib Ji travel. They spend a night in Machiwada jungle where they sing the Shabad Mittar Pyare Nu Hal Murida Da Kehna. They spend a night on their own there. They meet with Bhai Daya Singh Ji. They write the Jafarnama. They go through all that time and they go different places. Everywhere they go, there are only a few Sikhs that stand behind the side of the Guru and help them, even giving them water. Different cities and villages that Guru Sahib Ji visits after Chamkaur Sahib in the next 4 months, because we're remembering this Battle of Muktsar is in April. So it's 4 months from when they leave Anandpur Sahib to this battle. They go to different places, and the mayors and the councils of those different places all turn Guru Sahib Ji away and their Sikhs away, some not even giving them water because they're scared of the Mughals. But the Sikhs are strong and have faith in Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji reaches a place called Ramayana, which is about 14 miles from Muktsar Sahib. Now some historians say that this is where Guru Sahib Ji was given the Badawa, because the Majhe Ali Sangat arrive at this place. They arrive here and they speak to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, the Panchayatan. Bibiyan are there as well, and other Singhs are there. Some of them have come for the darshan, some of them have come to apologize, but our leaders, or the leaders of that community of Sikhs, are trying to get Guru Sahib Ji to give up, to surrender against the Mughal forces and Aurangzeb. The Mughal forces are hot on the heels of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. They are following their tracks. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji has come south of Punjab into the sort of junglous and desert areas. They reach this place of Ramayana, and those Sikh Sangat have joined and met Guru Sahib Ji here. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, the leaders say, why don't you give up this stand? Give yourself up. We have come from Lahore. All these battles, there's been so many Sikh Shaheed. Why don't you give up your stand? We've always got to think when we're listening to those Sakhiyan from those days and apply them to this day and age. Sometimes we say the same. We question, it's 30 years since 1984. All these Sikhs in turbans and beards are always questioning. They're always going on a Majara. They're always saying, even this week, it's probably been all over the internet. They're always questioning, Sikhs will never get justice. The families in Delhi, when there was genocide committed, we never get justice. But some of us, in our minds, will always think, why don't they just give this up? Time's moved on. It's been 30 years. Why are they bringing up all of this? Do they want to be killed again? We question just the same way as those Sikhs questioned in those days. We don't have to point at anybody. We know inside ourselves where our mind is, what our questioning is. Guru Sahib Ji said to those Sikhs from Lahore. Now, when I say this, don't just think it's non-Amritaris questioning Amritaris. It's everybody, because although they were Singhs and Singhaniya, they were Amritaris that came. So it could be anybody questioning the Guru. Doesn't matter if you dress like this. Even we can have shanke and question the teachings of our Guru. This is everybody. Guru Sahib Ji goes, where were you Sikhs from Lahore, when Sri Guru Arjan Dev Sahib Ji sat on a tatti tavi? Udo nahi talmel kita Mughਲਾਂ ਨਾਲ, udo nahi kiya samjhota kar lo. Where were you then? Where were you then when Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji, our father, gave their cease in Delhi, Chandni Chowk, with the other 3 Sikhs who were shaheed at the same time? But Sri Guru Tegh Bahadur Sahib Ji gave their cease and kept their faith intact. Where were you then to speak to the Mughal forces, to speak to Aurangzeb, to say, Samjhota kar lo Sikhs naal? A Sikh is here, a duty of a Sikh is to follow instruction, not to give instruction. We are here to follow teachings, not to make our own teachings and share them with everybody else. That's what a definition of a Sikh is. Follow the teachings of our Guru, not to make teachings and give the teachings to our Guru. Bhi Guru Sahib idna kar lo. Hun panch kakaran di lod nahi. Hun panch kakar chhad do. Hun ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਟੈਨਸ਼ਨਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ, ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੱਢ ਦਿਓ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਰਾਬਾਂ ਪੀਣੀ ਆ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਕੇਸ ਨਾ ਕੱਟੋ, ਪਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਕੇਸ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਮੂੰਹਾਂ ਤੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜੇ ਜਿਹਾ ਟ੍ਰਿਮ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੱਖਣੇ ਆ। And sometimes for society, as bibiyaan we may cut our eyebrows, as Singhs we may trim our beards or colour our beards. We may not even do our daily prayers. We may look as Amritaris, but we don't do any of our daily prayers that we've been given. We don't stay away from the Bajjar Kreta. Guru Sahib Ji said a Sikh is one who follows the teachings, not who gives the teachings. If you want to leave, you've got to leave Sikhi completely. You write yourself that you are no Sikh of mine and I'm no Guru of yours. Now, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਪ੍ਰੇਮੀ, ਭੋਲੇ ਭਾਲੇ, we sometimes have to follow our Prabandhaks because they make decisions for us. There are also letters that some of you may have seen when some of our own leaders write to Indira Gandhi and say, we have lost control of Sri Harmandir Sahib. You come and attack and get rid of Sant Gyani Jarnail Singh from Harmandir Sahib for us. So some of our own Prabandhaks were part of this conspiracy as well. And it wasn't just about getting the Sikhs out of Harmandir Sahib, as the media tell us, that they were terrorists, they were separatists. It wasn't about that, because if it was about that, why did Gurudwara across all of Punjab get attacked on the same day? Why was there genocide in October? If the 3 people, as they say, who assassinated Indira Gandhi were killed or captured, why were the families of Sikhs in Delhi attacked afterwards? It was never about just those Sikhs at Harmandir Sahib. It was always about what Aurangzeb is trying to do these 100 years previous, finish Sikhi completely. We've got to question in this day and age, are we part of killing Sikhi? We've seen in the past few months Bhai Gurbaksh Singh doing a hunger strike, and the biggest thing that I saw in all his speeches was all the Sikhs that he said, I'm telling you, when you cut your hair, you're not cutting your own hair, you're cutting Sikhi. Tusi kesan da qatil nahi karde, tusi Sikhan da qatil ban rahe ho. That's what he was saying. So the key is we've got to question ourselves, are we part of that conspiracy? No matter which level of Sikh we are, whether we're non-Amritari, whether we are Amritari, we've got to question ourselves. That's what we take from all these Sakhiyas when we remember them. They signed the Badawa. They gave it to Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji put it in their Kamar Kassa and moved on. As those Singhs went a little bit further, the Bibiyaan, the other Singhs, by Maha Singh and those 40 Singhs, they realized what has just happened. We've just signed away everything. We've said we're no Sikh of yours, you're no Guru of mine. Our families have been linked with Sikhi from Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji. And we've given it away in this one letter. We've given everything away. Bhai Maha Singh made a stand. Just like in this day and age, it takes one to make a stand. He speaks to his leaders at the time and says, I'm not agreeing to this. You've signed everything away. How can we give up our forefathers? In the same way, in this day and age, we're all Sikhs. We're all brothers and sisters. Our forefathers, if we look back at our great-great-great-great-great-grandfathers and grandmothers, there can only be 4 or 5 generations before we hit the Guru's times. Our great-great-great-great-grandparents would have been in the Sangat of the Gurus. Where have we got our Sikhi from? Because you know as well as I do, we don't just choose to be Sikhs necessarily. Some have got that blessing. Most of us here are born in those families. Somewhere in our family lineage, we're linked to the Gurus, to these Sikhs who have done all these qurbaniyan, given their sacrifices for us today to be living as we are today. Bhai Maha Singh Ji made a stand. Just as we know Baba Deep Singh Sahib Ji draws a line in the sand and said, if you want to be with the Guru, cross over when they're defending Sri Harmandir Sahib. In a similar way, Bhai Maha Singh makes a stand. He says to everybody, if you want to be with your Guru, if you want to go against what has just happened, come to this side. Including themselves, only 40 Singhs and 1 Bibi at that day made a stand. The Bibi was called Mata Pag Gaur, or Mai Pag Go as we know. And including Bhai Maha Singh Ji, there was 39 others, so 40 in total. 41 Sikhs out of hundreds that came from that area made a stand on that day. They continued and reached a place which in those days was known as Khadrani Di Tab. It was owned by 2 brothers. One was named Khadrana. And Khadrani Di Tab, what he used to do was give water, because as I've said, that area is desert-like, and they would give water to people who passed by. Those 40 Sikhs and Mai Pagoji do a mortar there. Guru Sahib Ji has moved on a little bit further to a high point and is watching all of this happen. Now some Sikhs, some historians say the Badaba was given there. Now my point is, it doesn't matter where it was given. We all know it was given. There were some Sikhs in that day that wrote to Guru Sahib Ji, I am not a Sikh of yours, you are no Guru of mine. And we are thinking in this day and age, are we doing that? Are we writing those letters in our minds? Are we saying, you're not our Guru? I'm no Sikh. We might be here like those Sangat were with Guruji. They would follow, they would come to the Sangat. But they were technically saying, I don't want to follow your teachings. Are we doing the same? We have to question ourselves. So they reach that point. The Mughal forces are hot on the heels. They arrive. The Sikhs, those 40 Singhs, decide to hang their kashere. A Gurudwara known as Tambu Sahib now. They hang their kashere. In this day and age, we find it difficult to wear a kashera. In those days, they would wear 3-meter kashere that go to their knees. And they hung those up to show that there's loads of Sikhs here, because it was a strategy in that battle that was about to take place. They fight against those Mughal forces that attack. Maipa Goji is hit and she's injured. The 40 Sikhs are shaheed, apart from Bhai Maha Singh Ji and maybe 1 or 2 others who still have some breath in their bodies. Guru Sahib Ji, Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji is a little further on a high point, watching all this take place. As Gursikhs go one by one into the Mughal soldiers, some travel 10 meters, some travel 100 meters, killing many Mughals along their way. Guru Sahib Ji, even though these 40 Singhs and this Bibi have written, a part of that Sangat who have said, I'm no Sikh of yours, Guru Sahib Ji still protects them. Guru Sahib Ji is firing arrows from where their point is. So in this day and age, even though we in our minds don't follow the teachings, Guru Sahib Ji still protects us, still gives us opportunities, still gives us chances. Guru Sahib Ji fires those arrows, but as they see the Sikhs falling shaheed, the Mughals are worried because they still see all these kashere. They think there must be hundreds and thousands of Sikhs here. They become thirsty. They don't have that tab, they don't have control of it because the Sikhs are in control of it. So they ask the governor of Kotkapura, another town in the south of Punjab, who had come with them, and said, where is the nearest station of water? He says, if you keep going forward trying to follow Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, it's going to be many miles. If you come backwards, you will find it closer. They see that they are being killed by the Sikhs. They retreat. and they run away from that place which is known as Mukhtar Sahib now. Guru Sahib Ji is from his high point and has seen all of this happen. Bhai Maha Singh Ji in his mind, because Guru Sahib Ji's Antarjami, they know these 40 Sikhs and this Bibi are not part of this Badawa. Guru Sahib Ji rides their horse and comes down. As they come through the Sikhs, "Eh mera 5,000," giving wars to those Sikhs, "Eh mera 10,000, eh mera 20,000, eh mera 1.25 lakh, eh Multan da Badshah." Guru Sahib Ji is giving them war, their shaheed in their next life. They're going to give them ash, they're going to give them Raj for their sacrifices that they've given. Guru Sahib Ji goes to Bhai Maha Singh and puts them in their god and says to Bhai Maha Singh, "What do you want? I'll give you Raj. You can come again, you can go to Sachkhand, you can have anything you want, you ask for it." Bhai Maha Singh Ji goes, "No, I don't want anything. I want that Badawa that you took and you want you to tear it." Guru Sahib Ji goes, "No, forget about that. I'll give you everything you want." For a second time, Bhai Maha Singh goes, "No," because he has compassion and he's thinking about all the Sikhs of that area of Majha. That Badawa that we wrote, we've made the biggest mistake of our lives, and not just this life, all the lives we've ever been in. We want you, Guru Sahib Ji, to tear that Badawa. Bhai Maha Singh Ji's blood tears that Badawa, and Guru Sahib Ji blesses the Sikhs of Majha and forgives them for writing that. So Guru Sahib Ji still forgives his Sikhs. My Pago Ji is still alive. The 40 Sikhs become Mukte. Gurudwara Tutti Gandhi Sahib is there. Tutti Gandhi. What does that mean? Tutti, if you think of a rope that's broken and then you tie a knot to retie it again, it joins. Guru Sahib Ji, what was broken, fixed it again. The Sikhs were broken and Guru Sahib Ji fixed them again, and there's a Gurudwara there at Mukhtar Sahib, and that's where Sikhs celebrate Maghi da Mela. Now there's a question, there's many teachings you can take out of that Sakhi, but the one that hits me the most, the one that I take and that I'm going to share with you today, is a few months earlier, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji leaves the Battle of Chamkaur. They leave the Battle of Chamkaur, Tadiyan Marke, they say, Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, the Peer of the Sikhs, that's the word they use so the Mughals understand, is leaving the Battle of Chamkaur. Catch me if you can. In those kind of words they leave. Bhai Daya Singh Ji, Bhai Man Singh Ji, Bhai Dharam Singh Ji, only 3 Sikhs leave Chamkaur Sahib with them. Everybody else is Shaheed. They leave 5 Singhs. When they put the Kalgi, again, some say Bhai Sangat Singh Ji, some say Bhai Sant Singh Ji. Doesn't matter, they leave the Kalgi with the 5 Sikhs, the Guru Khalsa at that point, and they leave. Bhai Daya Singh, historians tell us this, as they leave, Bhai Daya Singh Ji is saying, here's Bhai Ajit Singh Ji, Sahibzada Bhai Ajit Singh Ji, Sahibzada Bhai Jujar Singh Ji. Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji doesn't even look back at them. They leave. But in this battle, only 4 months later, Guru Sahib Ji has taken Bhai Maha Singh in his Godi. Now those of us that are parents here, or those of us that are not parents but are children of our parents, when our child is ill, has a headache, has some pain, what does a parent do? They rush over to their child and they put them in their Godi. And if we're children, we know that's what our parents have always done to us. Now, if you think of this, if we take that and we look at it on a worldly level, and somebody's watching that scene or watching both scenes, who would you say is the child of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji? Would you say it's Baba Ajit Singh Ji or Baba Jujar Singh Ji? Or would you say it's Bhai Maha Singh Ji? Who would you say the child is? If I don't know anything, I would say it's Bhai Maha Singh Ji. What is Guru Sahib Ji teaching us? That my Sahibzade, I gave them up in 1699 when I said to the Panj Pyare, "Main sarbans daan karke amrit shagunga." They've given their physical children in 1699 in Vaisakhi. They've already given them. So at that point, technically, they're not their children anymore. The child is Bhai Maha Singh. Obviously, we're all his children. I'm just trying to get you to think. So what does that mean? Bhai Maha Singh was a Sikh. A Sikh who a few hours earlier has just been part of a letter that's written, "I'm no Sikh of yours." That is us in this day and age. Every day we turn our back on the Guru. Whether we say we're not ready for Amrit, whether we say we're cutting our case, whether we're Amritari and we're not following the teachings properly, every day we might be turning our backs. But Guru Sahib Ji still takes us in his Guddi. He still protects us from the high point like he was firing the arrows. He still comes and takes us in their Guddi when we're in trouble. We are Bhai Maha Singh. We are the children. Not Baba Ajit Singh Sahib Ji, not Baba Jujhar Singh Sahib Ji. It's when we realise that we will make great strides in our own Jeevans. Because Guru Sahib Ji has given us everything. Absolutely everything. Whatever our minds can imagine, it's in our hands. It's up to us to realise what we've been given, what we have got. Those of us that realise it will be the blessed ones. Those of us that don't will have to come and go over and over again in this 84 lakh June, because all of these sakhiyan, all of our history is a teaching to us. We sometimes need to be selfish and think about ourselves and think all of this is for me to make my life, my Jeevan better, to be part of this great path that is the Khalsa Panth, so we can be one with the Lord, not just in the afterlife, but while we're living here and now. Guru Sahib Ji has given us everything. And Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji blessed those Sikhs at the 40 Mukte. We remember those in this month. As we celebrate Maghi, as we've just gone and celebrated Lodi, we should also remember the 40 Mukte whose broken was fixed again by Tan Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. In the little time we have, let us share the teachings of this month and see how we can apply them to our lives. Satnam Sri Vaheguru Sahib Ji, Mag Majjan Sang Sadhua, Tudi Kar Isnan. In this month of Mag, what should we be doing? We should be doing the Sangat, Sang Sadhua, the Sangat of the Sadhs. Sadh Sangat. We should be coming to the sanctuary of Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, all the 10 Gurus, and we should be doing Sangat. Tudi Kar Isnan. Now Isnan means to bathe. There's many types of having a bath, of having an ishnan. We can have a bath in the morning. We can do a kesi ishnan. Some people do ishnan with their clothes on. But the type of ishnan we want to do is we want to have Tudi da ishnan in this month. That means the seva of the sangat. So we come and do sadh sangat, but we also do their seva. Partak, seva of the sadh sangat is doing joda charna, is doing pandiyan di seva, is bashaying the chadar after the divan, and the partak tudi, the dust of all the Gursikhs that is collected in their jode, in their chadara, on their thaliyan. We want to be collecting those because that gives us blessings to help us become humble, to give us shabgun, qualities. Qualities don't just come on and off. Sometimes we say, dil saaf hona chahida. I'm still trying to prove to this day, what does that mean? Because it's easy to say that, sada dil saafa, we don't need all of this external. What does that mean? Because the Panch Chor will not go from anybody if we don't have Naam, if we don't have a Pura Guru to give us that and the teachings to follow. It's easy to say Dil Saaf, but nobody can from till this day prove to me how you can have a Dil Saaf without a true Guru. So in this month of Magh, we should be bathing ourselves in the dust of the Sadh Sangat. We should be doing as much Sadh Sangat as possible. Har ka naam te aay sun, sabna no kar daan. Har ka naam te aay sun. So we come and te aay, remember, son, listen to Har ka naam. But we have to get that naam from somewhere. Those of us who haven't taken Amrit yet, we should make that as our nishana, as our goal, to take Amrit, to be given that naam by the Panch Pyare. Because if we don't get given that naam by the Panch Pyare, technically, we haven't got it inside of us. I share this many times. I may have shared it last time I was here. In India, where you have a nalka, those old nalke that give us water. When you make one of those nalke, those pumps, you have to pour water down before water comes out. So, same with our bodies, we have to put Khandedi Pahal, that Amrit, inside before it's experienced out. Without putting it in, it won't come out. We won't be able to experience it. And those of us that are already on the path, we need to follow the teachings, not just say we've joined the path and we're better than everybody else. Har ka naam te aay sun, sabna no kar daan. And then we should share that with everybody by doing more sangat. There are different types of daan that anybody can do. Some people do daan of money. Some people do daan of gifts. Some people do daan of their children. In other religions, we know different daans of different sacrifices people do. We have to do sacrifices of our mind, body and soul. I remember a little fable, a story of a king many years ago in a different age. It gives us a teaching. It may not be a true story, but it gives us a teaching. A king didn't have a child. He didn't have a child, and he didn't know who to give his kingdom to. He went to all these beers and dodgy babbe that sometimes we go to. And he said, if you give a sacrifice of a child, then a child will be born in your house. The child has to be a specific age, and they give all this information. So he found that child. The parents were lalji, that they sold their child to this king. The child was 8 or 9 years old. So he came into the kingdom. The king is thinking, I'll kill him, I'll sacrifice him in a few days. But because there's been never no child in this kingdom, let him play for a few days. So he saw the child play. The child was playing in the mitti, in the sand, in the mud. And he made 4 castles like we do when we're playing in sand, and we make castles. And we make the sand castles, and then we bury them again, and we destroy them, and we make them again. And the child makes 4. And out of the 4, 1 stays solid. He doesn't destroy that one. But the first 3 he makes, he keeps knocking them over, making them again, knocking them over. The king is interested what's going on, because he's never seen a child play. And he asked the child, why are you knocking 3 down and not knocking that 4th? And the child, who was spiritually blessed, because we can get teachings from anybody, young, old, male, female, doesn't matter where they come from in the world. We can even get teachings from animals. The child says, the first sandcastle represents my body, because a person in this world looks to themselves to be able to defend when something is going wrong. We look to ourselves to defend ourselves. I'm just a child. My body's not strong enough. You have a supreme power. I can't defend against you. I'm knocking that over. That represents my body. It was given to me, and then it's gone because it's worthless. Just like in this day and age, as Sikhs, we're always under oppression. We think we can do everything. Sometimes our ego is better than our own true Sochni. We think we are the best. Listen to me. I know the right way. Just like those leaders came from Majha Alaka to Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. The second sandcastle represented his parents. He says, then as a child, the next person I'm going to look to are my parents, my family, my friends. Let's extend it a little bit. Family, friends, parents. They were the ones who sold me to you. They're false in this world as well. He realized that his parents are false. So let's take it in this day and age. Can we do anything? Can our friends, family, society that we follow, can they do anything for us? They're false. They're not going to be here forever. Then the third one, he says, the third place you look to is the law. Because if you live in a kingdom with true law, there should be no problems. And if Sikhs, that's all the things pre-84 were asking for. True law. They weren't asking for Khalistan. If you look in history pre-84, there are only 1 or 2 times where the name Khalistan comes up. And it only comes up when the government saying, do you want Khalistan? And Santa Nelson says, if they give it to us, we won't say no, but we're not asking for it. We never asked for it. Afterwards we might have done, but when all those atrocities happened, no Sikh asked for it. We just wanted law which was honest, so we could live our lives and not be oppressed. But when the law is gone, just like now we're finding, we've come to England because we thought we're going to get better law here. And in some cases we do, but we've seen these letters this week that they colluded. And it probably wasn't just the British government. There's probably many governments that colluded with India at that time to finish off the Sikhs. And that's the third sandcastle. And I'm destroying that because the law is not going to save me. They may be for a while if it's true, but forever it won't. And the fourth sandcastle is God. And that's staying solid. Because wherever I go, if I have to die, if you have to sacrifice me, I know that God will always be with me. This will never need to be destroyed. He's protecting me now. He'll protect me afterwards, even if you sacrifice. Because he's already dead, that child is. He's accepting death. He knows he's going to physically die, but spiritually, he knows God is with him. And that's what we should take away. That spiritually, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, the 10 Gurus Jot, the form of Waheguru on this earth is with us all the time. Ourselves, our mind, our ego, our families and friends, the law, there will come a point when they will give us up. But Guruji will never give us up, just like Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji to the Chali Mukte who came back and Mata Pakor, they never gave them up. And in the same way, they protected them and they gave them that Chali, they gave them that var of being Mukt, the liberated ones. Guru Sahib Ji will be with us forever and ever. So in this month we need to do as much daan of that naam as possible. Har ka naam te aay sun, sabna no kardan. We can only do that if we come to the sanctuary of the Guru, the sanctuary of the holy, which is this Sad Sangat, and we repeat the name of the Lord. Janam karma mal uttare, manate jai guman. All the janams, all the 84 lakh junes we've been in and out of, all the mail, all the dirt we've collected, all those actions that we've collected that are bringing us back and forth, all that will be wiped away by repeating the name of the Lord. Mante jai guman. From our mind, guman means hankar. The ego will be taken away. Through our spiritual path, we have our body. Then we have, which we call our karmindre, our physical senses. Then we have our gyanindre, our sense of touch, sight, hearing. Through that we reach our mind. From our mind we come to our buddhi, our intellect. Then we have our chittavani, where our thoughts, our furne come from. And then further to that, the biggest rogue on our body is our ego. And when we surpass our ego, we reach one with the Lord. And Guru Sahib is saying is, mante jai guman, that hankar will be taken away. Kaam krodh na mohi hai, bin se lobh swan. Kaam krodh na mohi hai. So not just our hankar, kaam, krodh and moh. Kaam, lust, krodh, anger, moh, attachment. All that will be taken away. Bin se lobh swan. Swan means dog. Our greed, which is our lobh, the greed we have, the desire we have, is like a dog. Jis tarah kutta ke, it hangs its tongue out, dripping with saliva, wanting more. That's what Guru Sahib Ji is describing our greed like a dog, wagging its tail, wanting more and more and more, wanting more money, more houses, more cars, more clothes, more wealth, more honor, more vadiyai. That's what we want. Not just, I want it as well, everybody wants it. But Guru Sahib is saying in this month, if we follow the teachings, that will be suppressed, that will be controlled. We will only want the love of Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji. Just like the Charlie Mukte wanted that love. That's all we should be asking for. And when Guru Sahib Ji gives us the love, we realize everything which they've already given to us. Sachai marag chaldeya ustat kare jahan. Sachai marag, the true path. We know the true path. The true path is the path laid down by Sri Guru Gobind Singh Sahib Ji in 1699. Ustat kare jahan. And then truly the world will do our ustat. If that's what we want, honor in this world, we want man vadiyai, we'll get true honor if we follow the true path. Bhai Mahasingh is truly honored. Nobody will ever forget them. The famous people of Bradford and West Yorkshire and England, they'll be remembered, but even their name will go. But the famous people of Akal Purkh Waheguru, they will be remembered not just in this world, eternally they'll be remembered, and they'll be remembered in all worlds, if you want to describe them as that. Atsat Tirath Sagalpon, Ji Daya Parvan. Now this month of Maghi, in Guru Sahib Ji's times, Sikhs or the Hindus would go to the Tribeni, where 3 rivers meet. That's where they'd go to do Ishnan. And that's another reason why Guru Sahib Ji had Sangrant, was to say, Tusi Naam Japo, you don't need to do these ritual practices on these months. And Guru Sahib Ji is saying, Atsat Tirath Sagalpon, all the rivers that you guys might go to, the Sikhs who came from Hindu families in those days, that you may go to. And to us, that means ritualistic practices in this day and age. All that ritualism that we might think of doing, all that pun, all those things that we think is charity. Ji Daya Parvan. All you have to be is compassionate. And you get all the fal for all of that anyway. What is compassion? First, compassion is to others. But also, an arth of this, meaning of this pankti is Ji Daya Parvan. Do be compassionate on your own Ji, on your own soul. Be compassionate to yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to be saved in the from the 84 lakh June. Jisnu Deve Daya Kar, Soi Purkh Sujan. We come into the end of this Shabad, and those who are blessed by Guru Sahib Ji, just like Bhai Daya Singh, the Charlie Mukte, Mata Pak Kaur, and all the other Sikhs over all that time, they are the true, they are the clever ones, Sujan, they are the ones who have been blessed. Jinna Milya Prab Apna Nanak Tin Kurban, Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Sahib Ji saying, those who have met the true Lord Akal Purkh Waheguru, those who have met the Panch Pyare, those who have met Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji in the sanctuary, they are the ones who are going to be praman, they are the ones who are going to be accepted. And finally, Mag Soche Se Kandiya Hai, Jen Pura Gur Meherwan, the true Guru, the complete Guru, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Those are the ones who are suche, pure. Kandiya means unanu kaida. Those who are pure are those who have been blessed by the complete Guru. The complete Guru in this day and age is only Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And then when they bless Panch Pyare to give hukam when they are partaking in the Amrit ceremony, they are the ones who are the true Guru, the Pura Guru. Nobody else on this world, no one person, no human, no other scriptures from any other faith. They are not the true Guru, only Gurbani. And then when Panch Pyare and in the presence of Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji, they are the true Guru who can give you Naam. When you get that Naam, you follow the teachings those Panch Pyare give you, because it doesn't stop there. That is just our birth. And then from our birth, we live our lives, and they are the ones who are truly pure, especially in this month of Magh. You don't go to those rivers like they used to do in those days, to do Ishnan in those rivers. You come to the Sadh Sangat, you read their name, and they are the ones who are blessed. If I've offended anybody sharing the Itihas and doing the translation of this Shabad, I beg for forgiveness. I'm sure I've made many mistakes. We're all learning together, not just me sharing. I would always request anybody, learn Gurbani, read Gurbani yourself, make your own relationship with Guru Sahib Ji, and then you will learn for yourself. You don't need people like me to teach, to preach. Why don't you learn directly from our Guru? Learn Gurbani. If the biggest thing you can take away is learn Gurbani, speak to Guru Sahib Ji yourself. Just quickly, before we finish, if we love somebody, sometimes we say, "Bhi pyar kitna karida." If we love somebody in a worldly sense, we talk to them, don't we? In the same way, talk to our Guru, love will develop automatically. Talk to them, love will automatically develop. I beg for forgiveness. You, the Sadh Sangat, can keep blessing me with Gur Sikhi so I can follow the teachings I'm trying to share. Hopefully Guru Sahib Ji blesses us all with Naam Di Daat so we can experience that Naam on this earth and we don't have to come and go over and over again. We're going to read these last two panktiyan and then it will be Samapti. Deho sajjane si shriya jo hove sahib sumed lekha katha na shutiya khin khin ulanhar baksanhar baksle nanak par utar jinna milya prabh apna nanak tin qurban maag soche se kandiya hai jena pura gur meherban वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।